Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday, and we are back at BSing Sports to bring you our predictions for Week 3 in the NFL. So with me, as always, is Ryan and Timmy. How you guys doing tonight? Ryan, I know you had some finals to get handled. Timmy, you look like it's been a rough week at work. Talk to me a little bit, fellas.
I was sick all week, man. I called out on Tuesday to feel better and everything. Feeling better, a little congested up in my facial area. Other than that, I'm good.
All right, Ryan, how'd finals go?
They're not done yet.
Well, all right.
That's how they went. They ain't done yet.
All right, fair enough. All right,
I do plan on finishing tomorrow, though, just obviously because I want to sit on my couch or at the bar Sunday and watch football all day.
Gary Brandt, how's it going? That's great. Obviously, school comes first, family comes first. Glad to hear you're feeling better, Timmy. You will see our fancy new background when we do our outro this evening. Lots of work has been put in. For those of you who do not know, Ryan and I will be live at 3 Odd Guys Brewing on Thursday, September 29th for our first 3OG, that's right, for our first in-person live show for BSing Sports. Unfortunately, Timmy won't be able to join us. However, we'll be doing more going forward, and he'll be there. So let's get into it. Let's get to our predictions. You guys had a freaking phenomenal show on
I hear Timmy's
Wednesday.
always with us in spirit.
Timmy's always with us in spirit.
Always.
Same. I'm going to miss that guy.
You guys had a fantastic show on Wednesday talking about fantasy sports. Let's get into it. Let's have our good show today, and then let's keep going. So, Timmy, congratulations. You chose the Cleveland Browns while Ryan and I both took the Pittsburgh Steelers. How do you feel about your 1-0 start to this week?
I had a 1-0 start the last 2 weeks too.
Yeah, but you kind of fell on your face last week.
I was 8-7, I think.
Hey, if you're above 500, you came out all right.
Exactly. That's all that matters.
That's fair.
Me and you are tied right now, bud. That's all that matters.
Not me. I'm ahead.
Are you?
Yeah, he's ahead by a game.
That's going to change this week. Don't worry about it.
It's only week 3. I ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
You can stay down in the basement.
That ain't going to happen. We all know that ain't going to happen.
No. All right, so let's roll into this week and our predictions for this week. First game I got on the docket is the Kansas City Chiefs visiting the Indianapolis Matt Ryan-led Colts, who are 0-1-1. We've already expressed our distaste for Matt Ryan, so go ahead and tell me why you guys think the Chiefs are handily going to win this game.
Man, Matt Ryan's killing me in fantasy this last 2 weeks, man. I lost 2.
Thanks, Mom.
I lost 2 fantasy matchups by 1.2 points back-to-back weeks total, all because of Matt Ryan. Couldn't put up touchdowns.
See, I hate when people say that stuff in fantasy. Literally any other person on your team could have scored points. It ain't one guy's fault.
It's true.
Matt Ryan put up 0.84 points. He could have put up more. Hi, Allie. But yes, like Ali said, the Chiefs are going to dominate the Colts. Matt Ryan going to throw 3 picks again. He's going to get benched for a backup, I think, coming soon. Give me the Chiefs by 7.
Didn't you just say the Chiefs were going to win big? Winning by a touchdown is not big.
And did I say big? I said the Chiefs are going to win.
Right.
Anywho, I was almost tempted to pick the Colts just because of that little arrogant opening to this game that you had there, but I'm not going to do that to my record. The obvious answer is the Chiefs, and the obvious answer is the Chiefs by double-digit points. The Chiefs are playing much better football right now. They had a nice home win against the Chargers last Thursday night. That was a good game, comeback victory. Chiefs are just playing better than the Colts right now. Mahomes is definitely going to outplay Matt Ryan, who looks totally lost right now. And they got Jonathan Taylor 10 measly touches while Michael Pittman was out, who is back this week. So that being said, give me the Chiefs by 14 in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I feel like Matt Ryan and Jonathan Taylor are suffering from the same thing Baker Mayfield and Christian McCaffrey are. They just don't have a feel for each other. And unfortunately, it's detrimental to both of them. I do believe the Chiefs win. I believe the Chiefs win big. And Ryan saying double-digit points, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3 touchdowns. Again, Chiefs, big, real big in Indianapolis.
The way you let off with that, I thought you were going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Chiefs by triple digits. Like, what?
Hey, John,
Yeah,
I hope you're right
that's
because I
good.
have JT in one of those leagues that I think I'm playing you in. So there you go.
That's Pittman,
That's
buddy.
Pittman, not Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pittman.
I'm sorry. He did say Pittman. That's my bad.
I don't think Pittman scores 2 touchdowns. I think he gets a load of volume, though, just because they'll be losing from the rip.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
Good because I'm playing Bill and I have Pittman.
Yeah, so I'm playing Ferris in 2 leagues. I'm playing you in 1 league. I'm playing Krogan in a league.
Beef
Davis in a
Kroganov.
league. All right, let's move on to the next game. Team that Ryan has been super, super, super ecstatic to talk about versus a quarterback that Ryan has been super ecstatic to talk about. We got the Houston Texans visiting the Chicago Bears. Ryan, you can lead this one off.
Texans, man. I'm telling you. I'm gonna speak it into existence one time. These people in Houston are gonna win a football game.
Good job. You got me. Timmy, go ahead.
Whoa. I didn't even say why. And it's
bad.
because Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears are a mess. It has nothing. The Texans just look like a better organization right now, so I'm picking the Texans. Y'all gotta stay off my Texans train though until they win. Go ahead and pick the Bears, Timmy.
No, I'm taking the Texans.
No, you're not.
I think the Bears secondary isn't that good, and Brandon Cooks is going to have himself a game.
I think Eddie Jackson's out for some time too, so that makes it even worse.
Exactly. Like, give me the Texans with David Mills and Brandon Cooks by at least 14.
I don't know about that. In Chicago?
Calling it.
I was just about to say the Bears are 1-0 at home right now. I don't know.
Yeah,
they really got to start leaning towards the home team on this one. Some people might. I won't. I'm also going Texans.
You guys are just bandwagoners. I've been with the Texans since week 1.
No, what we are is trying to be intelligent and beat you in our picks so that you're the one who has to wear a dress on our show or something
You're not going to beat me by picking the same teams as me.
It means that you can't catch me. No, I do have the Texans though. It'll be a close game, not by 2 touchdowns like Timmy's talking about. I think it's somewhere between a 3 and 7 point game. But yeah, give me the Texans. Davis Mills, Brandon Cooks have something really nice going on. David Pierce is really starting to look really good.
Texans
so yeah, give me the Texans.
2 touchdowns all year. You think they're going to outscore the Bears by 2 touchdowns?
Marking in the book Tuesday. You guys going to be like, all right, Tim, you're right.
Tim says Texans big.
Even if that does happen, I ain't never saying those words on this show.
We'll be quicker to fire you.
I already did that. Been there, done that.
Careful, I'll do it again.
Password. Can't get on.
I've never had it.
You didn't get the we'll talk about that off air. So next game we got on the docket is the New Orleans Saints visiting the shambles of the Carolina Panthers. Timmy.
See, I was gonna go because I saw like the T coming out of your mouth, but give me the Saints. Is Dalvin Kamara playing? Do you guys know? Yeah. I think he comes back and he's gonna have a game to himself. The Panthers defense don't look that good. If Baker, I see it.
I'm just gonna leave that here.
If Baker and Christian McCaffrey don't get on the same page, I think the Saints win by 7, maybe 10.
Ryan.
It's in Carolina.
It is in Carolina.
I'm taking the Panthers, man.
Come on, man.
They've been offensively disappointing to this point, but their defense, contrary to what Timmy just said, is actually really strong, especially in the past. I know Kamara's coming back this week, but I do believe at some point, they're going to have to start force-feeding the ball to Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore rather than just looking out for their long-term health if they want to win football games. So I think that happens, and divisional games can get kind of weird. So I know that the Saints are probably the obvious favorite, and like I said, divisional games tend to not work out the way that we all think they will sometimes. So go ahead and give me the Panthers by 3 at home.
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't take the Panthers and I even led off with, the shambles that are the Panthers.
Obviously, I'm picking the worst teams. Like, come on now.
I also am taking the Panthers for everything Ryan just said. At some point, and I believe it's going to be sometime during this game, Matt Rule is going to realize that Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore are your best players, and they need the football every play. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I would not be surprised if Robbie Anderson gets sprinkled in there. However, other than that, the two best players on your team need to get the football in order for you to win. And that's obviously, as Ryan pointed out, because, he's infinitely intelligent, DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey. So again, omnipotent.
Listen,
give me the Panthers. Timmy, you're on your own little solo island there, buddy.
Listen, I hope DJ Moore goes off because I have him in 3 fantasy teams. So go ahead. He can go off all he wants, but still give me the Saints.
Look, you guys talked about this on Wednesday about how DJ Moore is like poised to have a big game, and I think that's a reality.
Yeah. And wait, I'm playing you with DJ Moore. Actually, I get traded for him.
You know what, man? We're in so many leagues. I just go and
randomly get shook a couple times. My dog wants me to play with him, and I'm trying so hard not to look at him.
That's fine. It's not a big deal.
Who we got next?
Let's see. We have the 0-2 Las Vegas Raiders visiting the 0-2 Tennessee Titans. Both of these teams to me,
complete mess.
Yeah, both of these teams to me, where we stood at the beginning of the season, it's a surprise that both teams are 0-2 at this point. So one of them's got to come out victorious, right? Like you're not going to get another tie.
That's not true.
I said you're not going to get another tie here.
That's not true.
Ryan, fire away.
Man, I'm taking the Titans just because they're the home team. Taking the Titans just because they're the home team, like I said. But these are two teams that should be playing better than what they are. And the Raiders having that monumental collapse in the second half at home last week against the Cardinals. One, won me a jersey. Thank you. And then two, it was embarrassing. Josh McDaniels is clearly not ready, whereas Mike Vrabel will definitely have this team ready to go. I think that the Titans have taken they just took a shellacking from the Bills. Like, that was terrible. And Ryan Tannehill is going to come back and have a better game. Derrick Henry is not going to be held down forever, although I don't think that he's the same running back than what he was. Give me the Titans by 3 at home.
Yeah, I took the Titans too. I think that Derrick Henry is going to get on track. I think Ryan Tannehill is going to get back on track, throwing touchdown passes. I think Treylon Burks is actually going to have a big game for the first time in his career with against
Keeney Westbrook.
Nick Westbrook and Nicky or whatever his name is.
Inkini Westbrook, I think it's pronounced.
It's Westbrook and then whatever.
Well, yeah. Westbrook Inkini is how I think it's pronounced. Yes.
But yeah, give me the Titans.
I think it's pronounced Westbrook Irrelevant.
Basically what he did.
He was the only player I had to combat Diggs and Allen combination you had last week, Ryan.
Oh man, that was such an epic comeback sleeper game.
I was up by like
chance to win, and then Diggs and Allen just absolutely went bananas, dude.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the same as you guys said. I'm going with the over. Does the over under for how many times Timmy gets fired?
We're at 5.
We are at 5, I believe. No, I think it might be more.
No, that's 5.
I don't think we've really fired you since that first episode.
What's when you guys figure out what the over under is, let us know. We'll make sure we manipulate it.
And is it a per episode thing or like a per month thing? Because I mean,
we need the
I could just keep doing it until I hit the over.
That's right. So for me, I'm going with the home team, Tennessee Titans, who just got destroyed by the Buffalo Bills. Look, they're not as bad as they've looked, and that's a pretty strong statement, as Ryan pointed out. Mike Vrabel is a good coach. He's gonna have this team ready to go. Josh McDaniels does not look like a good coach at this point. Is not going to have his team ready to go. So give me the home team in the Tennessee Titans. Again, just like last week, I had feelings where I don't remember what game it was, where if the game was held somewhere else at the other home team, I may feel differently. But because it's in Tennessee, Las Vegas has to travel all the way out to Tennessee. Give me the Titans. Cincinnati Bengals 0-2 visiting the 1-1 Jets. Jets. Ryan's going to try and fire me if I keep doing that, just so y'all know.
That's right.
Look at his face. He's so angry. All right, Ryan, go ahead. Fire away. Oh, maybe he's not angry. Maybe he froze. He might have froze.
No, got it. Just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I took my dog on a half-hour-long walk, and he's got all this energy. Anyway, The Jets have played very well so far this season, and the Cincinnati Bengals have not. I do not expect that to continue. However, when you take a deeper dive into the Bengals, Joe Burrow's getting sacked at an alarming rate, even more so than what he was last year. And that's concerning because they spent $70 million on the offensive line in the offseason. So now you got to start to wonder, is it an offensive line coaching issue? Is it a gelling issue? Is this a Joe Burrow issue? Because Joe Burrow's in charge of slide protections, blitz recognition, and getting his offensive line ready to block who they need to block. This has got to be a bigger issue than what we're seeing right now. So I do think that the Bengals win, but I think they need to figure out what the main cause of this issue is, because it obviously was not just a personnel issue.
Tim?
Yeah, I agree with what Ryan said. I think Joe Burrow is having a problem reading blitz. I think 90% of the time he gets sacked at the awful blitz. But I still got the Bengals winning by 3, maybe 7.
I think it's a coercion issue with this offensive line. Not everybody is fortunate enough to have Jeff Stoutman as their offensive lines coach. That, just for those of you who don't know, that is the offensive line coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. As Ryan pointed out, they put up $70 million for a bunch of new players to try and protect Joe Burrow. I think it's just a cohesion issue right now. It's going to get better. I think it starts this week getting better. I'm not saying that Joe Burrow doesn't deserve some of the blame, because he does and is supposed to put people in slide protections. However, I think he's also a little bit plagued by the fact that he always wants to get the ball out quick, and Joe Mixon is his scapegoat. So they need to find something better for Joe Burrow in that scenario. But overall, I think it's just the offensive line not really meshing together really well right now. And I think it will change. Give me the Bengals, and give me the Bengals by 7-10. Bengals by a score and a half. Yeah.
I just think the Jets are playing too well right now to lose by that substantial of a margin, and the Bengals just aren't playing that well.
Yeah.
All right, game of the week for me, and it's not even the Eagles. Game of the week for me, Buffalo Bills visiting the Miami Dolphins.
Yep, this is the game of the week too.
Yep.
And Bill, I already know who you're picking. Tim, I already know who you're picking. Tim's going with the Bills. Bill's going with the Miami Dolphins.
I go with Bills. You're right.
Timmy, go ahead.
I think Josh Allen and that offense is unstoppable right now. Like, no one's stopping them. Jalen Ramsey couldn't stop Diggs. Who Miami had to stop? Who does Miami have who's better than Diggs? Jalen Ramsey. No
Xavier
one.
Howard's pretty good.
Xavier Howard's pretty good.
Howard's good. I'm not saying he's not.
Byron Jones is also pretty good.
I think Diggs is going to have another big game. Give me Bills by 10-14.
Let me ask you this, Timothy. Did the Dolphins even need a defense last week?
Apparently not.
No. You really
I don't think Tua's good enough to have that same type of game.
He showed he can do it once. He can definitely do it again.
I don't think he will this week.
Give me the Dolphins at home, baby. That is right. I want the Miami Dolphins. Fin up, whatever they say. Waddle like a penguin. Give me the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill is about to snap. There is no Tre'Davious White. There's going to be no coverage. The Bills have not faced an offense like this year. They can go ahead and try and shut down Tyreek Hill all they want. Jalen Waddle's sitting on the other side. They can go ahead and try and shut down Jalen Waddle all they want. Tyreek Hill's sitting on the other side. Give me the Miami Dolphins, baby, at home.
Before we get the bill, I'm going to step in. What offense is better, Ryan?
Okay.
Well, I'm asking you, what offense is better? Take defense
out of which teams?
Out of Bills and Miami.
Collectively, as an offense, it's close, but I'd say the Bills. But the Bills have like exponentially a better quarterback. The Dolphins have better running backs. The receiving group is definitely better in Miami. But Diggs is the best receiver out of the two teams, if that makes sense. I would easily take Hill and Waddle head and shoulders over Gabe Davis. So to me, the receiving group's better in Miami, but I think Diggs is probably the number one receiver.
Some really important points to make right now. Well, it's my turn. Micah Hyde has been announced out. Tre'Davious White is out. Defensive tackle, I forget what his name is, for the Bills is out. Jordan Poyer is not expected to play. All of their secondary will be rookies in in Miami for Buffalo. Give me the Miami Dolphins. Give me the Miami Dolphins by 10 to 14 points. I'm talking it's going to look close at halftime, and then it's not going to look close, just like last week in the fourth quarter for the Dolphins and Ravens. Give me the Miami Dolphins.
I'm pretty sure the Ravens just played 2 rookie safeties and Marcus Williams, and they got torched.
Two wide receivers, 325 yards. Come on.
No, it's okay, Bill. You can come marry me, dude. We got the Dolphins. We're Team Dolphin, baby.
It's the Dolphins look, Rudy, first of all, you guys all know that I am an Eagles fan first and foremost, and then I'm like equally. I don't dislike the Dolphins and Bills. Like I equally don't dislike the Dolphins and Bills. I'm officially divorced and I no longer have a mother. All right, perfect.
I can be your mommy too, man. It's fine.
Woo! So for me, this game really was close, and I do believe it's going to be close. However, for me, look, the Bills are the number 1 team.
14 points at that close.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not with that boat, but
when the Bills get healthy, the Bills are the best team in football. However, the Bills are not healthy right now, and you gotta pick with what's in front of you, right? You gotta do the research. You gotta understand what's going on. You gotta realize the Bills are not healthy on the defensive side of the ball, and that's going to be detrimental in a game against this offense in Miami. So yeah, give me the Dolphins, and I'm not shying away from that from even a second. Give me the Dolphins.
Listen,
I'm not showing up to the show on Tuesday if the Dolphins lose. I'm so hard on that train.
Give me on Tuesday.
You'll be there.
Tuesday, I'm going to say, I told you so. That's all I'm going to say.
Tuesday, I might be on the road, so.
It's all right, Timmy, and I can do a recap. All right, let's see here. Oh, wait, here we go. Allie, who, for those of you who don't know, is my wife.
Was
showing up at that's correct. Was my wife. We officially have been divorced now. Is showing up at 3 Odd Guys in Bills gear on Thursday just to rub it in just a little bit more in case the Dolphins lose. Dolphins aren't losing, so I'm not that worried about it.
I'm not that worried about it either.
Next comment, please. Yeah, thanks, Mom. I know I'm your favorite.
Yeah, we all know that.
Yeah,
you've been
her favorite for 26, 27 years now.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. Good try though, Mom. All right, moving on. Seriously though, that's the game of the week. We're taking all of our votes out of it. That is the game of the week.
What do we think the over-under is going to be set at for that game?
It is 53.5.
That I'm smashing the over on that. Good Lord, both teams are.
I took the over on that points. All day long. I took the over on that.
Pretty
much any game the Bills are in, I'm taking the over on. They almost hit the over by themselves against Tennessee the other night.
Tim, did you see how wide open Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle were running past for the Ravens secondary? Like, I don't care who's back there. I don't care who's throwing them the ball. I could have thrown them the ball. They were 20 yards wide open.
They really were.
I think the Bills will have a game plan put out.
Look, Sean McDermott's a great coach. I'm not taking away from Sean McDermott. However, at some point, talent wins out, and there's too much talent versus the unknowns for the Bills defense. And it's that simple.
Let's go through this line by line. Coaching, which is better, Tim?
Bills.
All right, Bill, you agree. Coaching's better than Bills. Quarterback play, we all agree it's the Bills. We're not even going to let anybody answer that question. Running back play, Dolphins. For me.
Dolphins.
I'm going to go Dolphins, but it's close for me. I don't think
wide receiver
room, as you pointed out, Dolphins. Player, Diggs.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm not saying it's not.
Tight ends kind of wash each other out. Better defense.
I think
because the Bills are injured. Because the Bills are injured, I need to make that very clear. If this is a healthy Bills defense going to Miami on Sunday, I've got the Bills all day long. But they're not healthy.
I'm not even going to say that. If this game is in Buffalo with the current rosters, I'd pick Buffalo. But I'm not. It's so hard to win on the road in the NFL, especially when you're just to add on to that, you have 3 of your top 4 secondary pieces out for this game against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So,
did we convince you, Tim?
I'm on the Bill side.
That's fine.
On Tuesday, I'm going to say I told you so.
You can try, and we'll be laughing at you.
That's fine.
He's going to be like, "Yeah, I told you the Saints were going to beat the Panthers."
Hey, Tim, gentleman's bet.
No.
Well, can't be that
Oh,
confident then.
No bets.
fair
Just
enough.
how about let's do it like this. We double or nothing this game. Whoever gets it right, it counts for 2 wins in their column. Whoever,
I do
So,
that.
yeah.
I do that.
So like if the
Okay
Bills
with that.
win, he gets 2 wins on that game. If Miami wins, we get 2 wins on that game.
That's fine. I do that.
That's fair. I like that.
'Cause
All right,
I'm
let's
so
make, I'm gonna make a
confident
little
I'm
note
still
in the
gonna
doc
beat
here.
everyone.
If Dolphins win, it counts.
At least I know I'm getting 2 wins this week.
Well, the next game we have to talk about is our Birds versus the Washington Commanders. I'm going to do that every time just so everybody knows, and I have no freaking shame. What a stupid name. Anyway, Philadelphia Eagles visiting the 2-0 Philadelphia Eagles visiting the 1-1 Washington Commanders. The Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts situation on display in full effect. Some people believe this will be a revenge game for Carson Wentz. Timmy.
Give me the Eagles. I think Jalen Hurts and that offense is playing really well right now. The defense is gonna look at what Detroit did to Carson Wentz last week. He got sacked 5 times, I think, in the first quarter. Before half. I'm sorry, before half.
Mhm.
I think the Eagles are better defense than the Detroit, so I think the Eagles could if they follow the same game plan as Detroit. So give me the Eagles by 7.
Ryan.
I have the Eagles 28-17. To disagree to Tim's point again, just because that's what I'm here for. The Eagles ain't sacking nobody. They have 2 sacks on the year. They have like 5 sacks since John Gannon took over as the defensive coordinator. So they're not sacking anybody. If John Gannon comes out with a similar effective game plan to what he had this past week, they will limit them to 17 points. And that's what I expect. I expect him to run more man coverage with his top-tier cornerbacks. But if he doesn't, we've seen what the offense of the Washington Commanders can be this year. They almost brought that team back against Detroit, being down 22 at half. They blew the doors open in their week 1, and won handily with 4 touchdown passes from Carson Wentz. That air attack with Wentz is something serious. He's got 7 touchdowns to 3 interceptions on the season so far, and they have 2, if not 3, very capable wide receivers right now. So I got the Eagles 28-17 because I don't think that the Commanders' defense can slow down the rushing attack or the passing attack of the Eagles. But it could very well become a closer, maybe even high-scoring game if John Gannon reverts back to his old ways.
Hey, Ken, just so you know, he never even landed on the injury report, so he's playing. All right. So this absolutely 100% sort of to Ryan's point. It's all about John Gannon. This Eagles team has so much talent. It's all going to come down to coaching and schemes. And we have to hope that John Gannon is ready for the Commanders the way he was ready for the Vikings. And let's not put anything by John Gannon. He had a phenomenal game plan against the Vikings. Darius Slay didn't have to follow Justin Jefferson all over the field. He just had to be on the same side of the field with him. And it worked out perfectly. It's all going to fall on John Gannon's shoulders. Here's the crazy thing is John Gannon knows it. It's not a surprise to John Gannon that it's up to him to come up with a game plan to stop Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, who have both looked pretty good to start the season. Antonio Gibson, I think the Eagles benefit here a little bit because Antonio Gibson isn't like a full-fledged Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift type running back. So they can probably drop an extra linebacker into coverage or maybe play dime just a little bit more. But as we pointed out before, Avonte Maddox is the best slot corner in football. Darius Slay is one of the best outside coverage corners in football. James Bradbury is a very good coverage corner in the NFL. You have the ability to cover, not to mention you got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who also is good in his own right for everything that he does in addition to trash talking. The defense has the ability to be very, very good. They started to show it against the Vikings. I hope and think that they do keep it going here against the Commanders. And I've got the Eagles with a 31-17 victory over the Commanders.
I could very well see that as well. I'm just hoping that they ice the game in the second half better than they did last week.
That would be ideal, yes. Minnesota Vikings coming off of that Monday Night Football trouncing by our Philadelphia Eagles hosting the 1-1 looking pretty good Detroit Lions. Ryan.
This is
Exactly.
the other game of the week. This is the NFC game of the week for sure.
Because the world wants the Lions to do good. The world right now, let's be honest. The whole world wants the Lions to do good.
There's one word that I'm going to use to separate these two teams. And you'll know which team I'm going to pick after I say this word. Coaching. It's the Lions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got the Lions.
I don't.
Okay.
I got the Vikings. I think Justin Jefferson gets too good. I mean, the Lions don't have Slay, don't have Bradbury, don't have Maddox to stop Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson is going to get back on track and have himself another game like he did against Green Bay. Give me the Vikings by 7.
So I think you're right. I think that Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson get going again, and they really do. Dalvin Cook probably has over 100 yards on the ground. The Vikings. Huh?
I hope Dalvin Cook has a good game finally.
The Vikings the Vikings put up 31 points on the Lions, but the Lions score 37. And the Lions win this game. Look, what do we know right now about the Detroit Lions? Is they're scoring 34.5 points a game. What's to say they stop?
You're right.
And the Vikings defense looked atrocious.
You're right.
So, look, listen, everything you said is true, Tim. The Vikings are going to get back on track. They're just going to lose the game. And sometimes you need that type of game, a game where you come in and you got a good game plan and you execute it perfectly, but the other team just beats you. And I think this is one of those games. The Lions come out victorious. They're 2-1. They're tied for the first place in the division with the Packers. I haven't given you that pick yet. Maybe with the Packers after this week. Give me the Detroit Lions.
You're really going to be divorced if you pick that game wrong.
Yeah, I know. But I'm trying to win.
Hey, winners win, baby. Doesn't matter if it's from somebody else's couch or your own bedroom.
Yeah, I should probably start thinking about these picks a little bit, huh? All right, the Baltimore Ravens visiting the New England Patriots. Patriots coming off of that, what seemed like at the time a surprise victory over the Steelers, but then we watched the Steelers last night and we realized maybe not. So Baltimore Ravens coming off of that atrocious fourth quarter collapse and also a 1-1. Who do you got? Me. I'm going to go first. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Timmy.
I got the Ravens. I think the Ravens get back on track. The secondary, like Ryan said, Hale, Waddle are probably one of the best two duos in NFL football. The Patriots don't have nowhere close to being that good of duos or trios.
Is Hill and Waddle the best duo?
Close.
I believe that they're probably top 3 duos.
I agree with that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's an obvious one, but let's get a little spicy here. Are they the best?
No.
Who's better?
For the time being, with the way it stands, and you're gonna laugh at me.
You better not say AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
No.
All right, good.
No, I'm actually gonna go out to. I'm gonna go out to California on this one. But I don't think it's the team that you think I'm going to choose. I am not picking the Cooper Kupp combination down there. I believe Deebo Samuel and George Kittle are probably the best overall pairing. Listen, last year it was Hill and Kelsey. It doesn't have to be a wide receiver. Last year it was Hill and Kelsey. This year, I think with Kittle coming back and he seems healthy. I've been watching a little bit of video on him today, moving around. I think it's Deebo. Kittle is probably the best overall pairing.
Kittle's an animal, man.
See, I'm going to go to the other LA team that's not the Rams and say Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
There's a lot of good receiving duos because nobody even said Chase Higgins. Nobody said Godwin Evans.
Yeah, you got good ones.
And we mentioned Brown and Smith. And the reality of it is, yes, we're homers, but they could be really, really good. And so far this season, they've shown that they also can both be the lead receiver on the team. I called that for Smith last week. He did get, 9 receptions? So I was short on the 10 spot. And he didn't go for over 100 yards, but he still was the leading receiver, and I did call that aspect of it.
They look like they force-fed him the ball a little bit this past week. I mean, I mean, force-fed sounds like a bad term because it sounds like they were thrown into coverage. Smith's a great route runner, so they were just getting him the ball when he was open. It just seemed like it was more involved in the game plan to look his way first.
I would agree with that. All right. So anyway, yeah, I think did we even talk about the Ravens Patriots? No, we didn't. Timmy, continue your pick. You picked the Ravens, so now it's Ryan's turn.
Yeah, I'm going the Ravens here as well. I'm going the Ravens pretty big, even in Foxborough. I'm going to take 10 points here, which is a massive spread in Foxborough. Look, Rashad Bateman has 270-plus yard touchdowns to start the year. Mark Andrews is doing Mark Andrews things, and Lamar Jackson was probably the most explosive single player last week, outside of maybe Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill. He had a fantastic game. J.K. Dobbins might be coming back this week, another week of full practices every single day. So if they go ahead and get J.K. Dobbins back, that will immensely improve their running game that they have so direly been missing since he went out. Obviously, Justice Hill, Kenyon Drake, and Mike Davis aren't cutting it for them, and it really, really shows that it's not opening up the offense in the slightest. So if J.K. Dobbins comes back this week, I might even say Ravens more, but as it stands, Ravens at least 7 points, but I'd say 10.
Yeah, listen, everything you just said is 100% accurate. J.K. Dobbins is back. He looks like he's supposed to be back. He's on a snap count. For fantasy owners, that's a problem. However, for the Ravens, it's a great thing for J.K. Dobbins to just be on the field. I don't think the Patriots are a very good team. We've discussed this before. They don't have any number one wide receivers. They have no discernible number one tight end. Their running back situation is in shambles. You can't look at this offense and be like, oh, that's an offense that's going to put up points. And you just can't. I've got nothing against Mac Jones other than that he went to Alabama. He could be a good quarterback in football. I think he's being kind of smothered a little bit in New England. But yeah, so give me the Ravens against what I believe is a porous Patriots team. Give me the Ravens. Next game on the docket. The 1-1 Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence led Jacksonville Jaguars visiting the 1-1, possibly Justin Herbert-less Los Angeles Chargers.
Ryan, missing that game.
They said today that he could miss that game.
I'm
talking. The coaching staff said that he could be missing the game.
I ain't buying it. In all honesty, I think it's a ploy. I think Justin Herbert absolutely plays. I know Chase Daniel took the first team practice reps on Friday, which is a negative sign. However, Drew Brees played through this injury a couple years ago before he retired. But this game really does all hinge on if Justin Herbert plays or not. Let's start out with that. I've got it typed in
exactly like that.
I do believe he plays. Therefore, I do believe the Chargers win. However, if he does not play, my opinion on that will definitely change, especially with the way Jacksonville looks. Going to Jacksonville last week, absolutely blew the doors off the Colts. I mean, Colts first off haven't looked great all year. They look horrendous against Jacksonville. And Jacksonville, even against Washington, they look pretty good. They lost that game ultimately, but they were on the road. Week one, tensions were a little high. That both running backs were coming off major injuries. So I think Jacksonville looks good enough to win if Justin Herbert's missing, but I think Justin Herbert plays. So go ahead and give me the Chargers.
Timmy.
Yeah, Ryan talked me into it earlier today when we were playing our game. I think Herbert's going to play too, so give me Chargers by 7.
I don't think the Jags pass rush is so much of a threat that they're not going to play Herbert. Now, if they were playing a team with an elite pass rush where he's probably more likely to get hit, I feel like, or it'll be some kind of altered game plan, a lot of short passes, get the ball out of his hands pretty quickly.
I don't think Herbert's playing. And as a result, I'm going with the Jaguars.
Is Keenan Allen playing, do you know?
Yeah. Keenan Allen got a full practice. He was limited like 2 days in a row or something like that, so he should play.
Yes, they were. He has broken cartilage in his ribs. Not technically broken ribs, but still painful. And yeah, but again, as Ryan pointed out, he did not practice today. I was watching it while you and I were, at the restaurant earlier. And the coaching staff said that he's not quite doubtful, but it's not looking good for him to start. I don't think he plays. And as a result, I've got the Jaguars going into LA and winning. Not big at all, but I've still got the Jags winning.
Okay.
I see a world where the Chargers still win that game, but with the way Jacksonville's playing right now, I think if Herbert's out, that's big for them.
All right, next game is going to decide whether or not I get divorced for real. Green Bay Packers visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We sat on this show last week and discussed that those were the two best teams in the NFC.
We did, and then we got to watch the Eagles play.
Well, no, we said that on Tuesday's recap.
That's true. That is true.
Give me the Bucs. Even without Mike Evans, Julio Jones, a game-time decision. Chris Godwin's out.
The whole receiving core, except for Allen Lazard, is out for the Packers.
Romeo Doubs is playing.
Yeah, Romeo Doubs is playing. But it's going to be who's the better quarterback show against Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. I think Brady is better than Rodgers, in my opinion. So
okay, I don't like that opinion at all.
Give me the Bucs by 3.
Ryan,
I'm taking the Bucs. I think both teams really impress here. Truthfully, just given the fact that all of their weapons are hurt. You know, Robert Tunyon's coming off the ACL injury, so he still hasn't really found his stride. He's coming off that ACL injury pretty quickly, might I add, because if you look at Dobbins' injury, as the aforementioned J.K. Dobbins, he tore his ACL in the preseason last year, and they still haven't put him on the field, whereas Robert Tonyan tore his ACL in the middle of last year, and he's been good to go ever since game 1. So that being said, no Evans, no Godwin, not really expecting Julio Jones. I think because this game's in Tampa, I got 27-24 Tampa, but it's really going to be a Leonard Fournette show this week, in my opinion, and that's going to be the big difference.
If this game is in Green Bay, I take the Packers.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's in Tampa.
Yeah.
And as a result, I'm going with the Buccaneers for all the reasons that both of you guys just said. Now, as I also pointed out, most of Aaron Rodgers' weapons are also injured. However,
man, these teams are down bad.
Yeah. Tom Brady has looked a little bit lost the first couple weeks of the season. I don't know if it's got anything to do with his 45-day layoff or his 15-day retirement. I don't know. But he's looked a little bit lost, and I think this is the game he really gets it back together, even with his damaged receiving core. So I think Tom Brady looks better. I think as a result, obviously, the Buccaneers offense looks better. And it's just too much for Aaron Rodgers to overcome without any of his weapons. So it's a close game. And I still think it gets into the 40s total. So give me 27-24, 24-21 Buccaneers. And it would not surprise me if it's a 21-17 game in favor of the Packers with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Brady takes his team down the field for the victory.
Man, I think this will be a game that will show America, as specifically Eagles fans who are a little too high on the hype train right now, why
my wife is a troll.
Why? You picked the right team. Good job. I think she's making your side of the bed as you sleep, man. She's welcome.
I have the same glasses for the Eagles, and she brought me this one.
You have a big-ass Eagles flag. People know you're an Eagles fan, Bill.
I don't know they do.
If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts listening to us, Bill has an incredibly large head blocking his Eagles flag that's in the background. Anyway.
But before we go to the next game,
I got to say my piece. I really think this will show America and the overhyped Eagles fans that Tampa and the Packers are still the teams to beat. They still have the 2 best quarterbacks in the NFC. I don't care if Sammy Watkins is hurt. I don't care if Robert Tunyon's in his 3rd game coming off an ACL injury. Aaron Rodgers has done this stuff for years, man. He's been around a long time. Allen Lazard is going to catch like 2 touchdown passes. He'll find a way. Romeo Doubs will get involved. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are probably the best running back duo in the NFL. They're both going to look really good. We've both seen them have good games so far. He'll find a way to get the people that need to be involved. It's what he's done for years. He's not a turnover machine. He's the first quarterback in history with over 400 touchdowns and less than 90 interceptions. But Tom Brady's a little bit better.
And there it is.
Listen, don't forget, Tom Brady does have chemistry with Scott Miller. He'd been there for 3 years already. And Scott Miller beat the Packers.
Is Scotty Miller the number 1?
This week, yes.
Oh, yeah. Good call. Don't mind me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a hands down yes. Next game.
There may be a league I need to flex somebody in real quick.
Los Angeles Rams at Arizona Cardinals. Both teams are 1-1. Cardinals coming off of that ridiculous come-from-behind victory in Las Vegas. The Rams coming off of a pretty good showing against the Falcons, even though they looked like they were going to blow it there at the end of the game. The Rams defense has looked a little bit sus this year. Forgive me for saying the word sus. The Rams defense has looked a little suspect this year.
You're fired. That was terrible.
Oh, Bill got fired. Not me.
That was sus. What kind of show is this?
My bad. I've been rehired. Kind of hard to fire one of the bosses. But no, seriously, the Rams defense looked suspect. The Cardinals offense finally seemed to put it together there in the second half last week. This is going to be a closer game than I would like because I am taking the Rams. But the Cardinals beat the Rams both games last year. Both games.
No, that was the 49ers.
No, I'm sorry, that was the Niners. The Rams and Cardinals went 1-1. But if I'm not mistaken, the Rams lost the home game against the Cardinals and won the away game. I think it's a similar situation to start the season here. I'm sorry, I did just go first, and I apologize, fellas, but it doesn't matter to me. Rams with the victory here. Ryan.
A lot of good NFC matchups this week for sure. But I'm going Rams here. And specifically to touch on the point of this is going to be really their first game where they've all gelled together. Sean McVay not only sits as quarterback during the preseason, none of the starters play. So if you think about it, it took them, week one, they got trounced by a team who starters played in the preseason. They were ready to go. I don't think that was indicative of a talent gap between the Bills and the Rams. I think if you run that game back in the middle of the season, it's a little bit closer. But this will be their third game together. They came out on fire in the second game. In the first half, they looked like they were gelling just fine, and then kind of looked like they just gassed out, got a little exhausted in the second half of that game against an easier opponent. I think this will be the first full game where they have good chemistry. They're ready to go. This will be like this. Last week was kind of like a final tune-up game. I think that they're going to show out this week. I'm going to go ahead and say the Rams by 10. I think that defense, as you touched on, Bill, playing as poorly as they have been, has something to prove this week. So,
Tim.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. What you're saying. I think Allen Robinson will get more involved than what he did last week already. And Cooper Kupp's going to get Cooper Kupp's touches. You matched up with it. But I think Allen Robinson could get another maybe couple touches. I think he had 4 last week, but I think a couple more later on, maybe an extra touchdown. Who knows?
I have good news, guys. The 3 of us have been hired to be the white guy decoys that line up next to Cooper Kupp so the defense doesn't know which white guy is Kupp.
My man is in way better shape than me, that's for sure. They're going to know where I'm standing.
It's a little dark, so maybe I can pull this off. I kind of have the hairdo for it. But yeah, so we're going to line up in quad sets so that way we can confuse the defense.
For what it's worth, I would totally get paid. To do that.
I would take
Cooper Kupp.
one game of practice squad money just to go out there and step on the field.
Yeah, seriously.
I'll run pick flat routes all day in front of Cooper Kupp to help that man out.
Yeah, you ain't lying. I'd do it too. And I'm out of shape. I'd find a way. Let's see. We've got the Atlanta Falcons. Thank you, Darla. Atlanta Falcons 0-2 visiting the Seattle Seahawks, who looked atrocious last week. Tim, I'm going to give you the first go.
Give me the Seahawks. I don't think Atlanta's defense is good at all. I think Geno Smith had the bounce back game. Don't ask me why. I think Rashawn Penny had the better running game than what he had. So I think Metcalf's going to get his dues this week too also. So give me Seahawks by 3. It's going to be close. Could go
Ryan.
Wrong.
I'm going to go before you.
Wrong. First off, for those of you wondering, Bill keeps looking up because he's looking at me, Jesus Christ, for the answers. So I'm going to give him the answer, and that is the Falcons. The Falcons are going to win this game because they are the Tim Brants of the NFL. Timmy touched on he's lost 2 games by 1.2 points in fantasy. They've lost 2 games, both on the road, by a total of 5 points. One of them just won the Super Bowl. I think that the Falcons are my surprise team with how well they played. I still think they're going to be the first overall pick in the NFL draft next year, but they're hanging tight with some of these teams. I mean, they were up 16 points on the Saints before the Saints came back and won that game. So I think that the Falcons take this. The Seahawks have kind of been up and down. You know, they had a really good week 1 in Seattle against Denver, but I'm taking the Falcons here. I think, you know, Marcus Mariota's played better than anybody expected. They're going to start getting Tyler Algier involved a little bit more as he got 10 carries last week. And Drake London can't be stopped, truthfully, and especially not by anybody on the Seahawks defense. So maybe they'll actually involve Kyle Pitts, who is a unicorn this week, but who knows? It's not fantasy football, according to their head coach.
Marcus Mariota is the story here. It's cut and dry. Listen, I didn't think he was a poor athlete. Obviously, he was drafted, number 1 or number 2 overall by the Tennessee Titans a few years back. And he showed really good signs and flashes of being good in Oakland or Las Vegas the last couple of years, backing up Derek Carr. I believe he did deserve his chance to start again, and I think he's making the most of it, and he looks real good right now. And as Ryan pointed out, Drake London, wow. End of story. Give me the Falcons. They're going to go into into Seattle with all that noise and win by 10 points. Give me the Falcons.
Okay.
Sunday night
with
football.
Our bird teams here. Caw.
Well, we didn't bet for the Cardinals, and we can't choose them all because the Seahawks are playing the Falcons. But I also looked at that immediately after I decided to choose the Falcons.
And we also chose the Ravens too, so we're almost strong.
Almost.
We choose the realistic chance to win bird teams. Caw.
1-1, Jimmy Garoppolo led San Francisco 49ers, visiting the 1-1 Russell Wilson, who is 21-4 overall, led Denver Broncos. I'm sorry, 21-4 overall against the Niners. Denver led Broncos. Timmy, who you got?
Give me the 49ers. Russell can figure it out, but I think that defense is really good. With Kittle coming back now, Jimmy G will target it. Debo more like he did last year. Debo will get more involved with the running game. So give me the 49ers by 3.
Ryan.
I 100% agree. Give me the 49ers here. I think Kittle coming back is the difference here. And Kittle is an animal, like I said earlier. Fantastic. The best all-around talent-wise tight end in football. He just doesn't see the same kind of volume that an Andrews or a Kelsey do. Fantastic athlete. Great blocker. Yeah, he's on another planet, especially in terms of like his ferocity too. So I'm going to say that the 49ers win a close game. Kyle Shanahan's going to find a way. I just don't trust Russell and the Broncos yet. They haven't looked good. They look terrible against Seattle. They look terrible at home against Houston. They've scored 32 points in 2 games. That's what we're expecting them to put up per game, and here they are. They can barely crack 16 points. So,
listen, it's pretty bad that the fans have to count down your countdown timer for pre-snap. Like, if you don't know what that's at in your own home stadium, that's pretty messed up.
Also, Nathaniel Hackett, as we touched on, is just as prepared as Kyler Murray after Call of Duty comes out for NFL games. Like, he's not an NFL head coach. This is going to be the only season he's an NFL head coach. And if the Broncos go on a really bad slide here, wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make it to the end of the season. You're going to
choose the Broncos.
Oh, no shot, dude.
Taking the Broncos. Hear me out.
Well, you're wrong.
Yeah,
you can feel that, right?
Timmy, you're hired.
Listen, Russell Wilson is the kind of quarterback who puts it together. He figures it out every single season, year in and year out. When coaches and coaching staffs let him do his thing. So far, the Broncos have let it happen. He's just not used to the players around him, and it's going to happen. But I think the defense does enough to put him in a position where he can win the game here, and I think he does. Give me the Broncos in a very, very close game, and also a not a high-scoring game either. I'm talking 17-14. And give me the Broncos. It'll be, mark my words, it'll be 14-7 going into the fourth quarter, and the Broncos will win this game.
I'll tell you what, the least favorable position in the NFL has to be running back for the 49ers. Them dudes are hurt every year.
Yeah.
Elijah Mitchell,
right.
Tyrion Davis Price. They're down to Jordan Mason, Debo Samuel, Jeff Wilson. So
Let's move on to Monday Night Football. We have the loathed Dallas Cowboys
Giants.
visiting
Giants.
in New Jersey the Giants of New York. Who you got, Timmy?
Giants. I vote for the Giants 2 times a year, and one of them is this week.
Didn't Ryan say that in a chat earlier?
Yeah, you stole my words. Get the hell out of here. I said that shit earlier.
I'm still taking them.
Good try, buddy.
But give me the Giants. I think Saquon's going to have a good game. Let up on that, rush all over the Dallas Cowboys defense. Joe Mixon had a pretty decent game and get the Dallas defense too. I think the offensive line will protect Daniel Jones a little bit better than they did Burrow. So give me the Giants 14-10.
Brian.
Eagles gods, forgive me what I'm about to say on this show. The Dallas Cowboys are going to win this football game.
Just so you guys know, Ryan has been fired from BSing Sports.
Yeah. Look, guys, let's keep it real. Let's keep the bias out of it. This Dallas Cowboys defense has played out of this world to start the season. Out of this world to start the season. The offense is not good. But in turn, the Giants' defense is not fantastic. And their offense outside of Saquon Barkley is very suspect. Not that word that Bill used earlier that's only 3 letters that I'm not going to repeat. They're very suspect because we are adults that are older than 16. I see a low-scoring game, man, but the Dallas defense is playing really well right now, and they are the only unit out of the 4 units, being the Dallas offense, defense, Giants offense, defense, that's actually playing really well. So I think the Dallas defense wins it. And Cooper Rush, as much as we're like, whatever, he has beaten the Vikings. He beat the Vikings in primetime last year when he had to step in with no CeeDee Lamb. He just won a game against the Super Bowl runner-ups.
He played well.
He's doing what he needs to do. And the Giants are not the Bengals. So as much as they like to be 2-0, I think that they end up 2-1 at the end of this week. No, Stacey, you're sticking up for the wrong brother-in-law. That's some crap. Timmy's about to be fired because of his wife.
Fuck it. Frick it. Do it. Anyway, so
I can just mark that as explicit on Spotify. It's okay.
I think we're allowed one.
You said sus, so you had to redeem yourself, which is fair. Now you're back on even playing.
I think we're allowed one cuss word, though, on Spotify. I could be wrong. I don't know. Cowboys are going to go into New York and win this game. Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, as much as it hurts me to say, because I can't stand Zeke, are going to do enough to win this game. They're not going to make it a game plan that makes Cooper Rush be the reason that the Cowboys have to compete. Sorry, let me read this. My own brother-in-law doesn't bug me.
Speaking of that, Stacey, what's Tim doing?
I knew that was coming.
Yes. All right, let me finish my point, people. Stop commenting so I can stop reading. Listen, the game plan is going to be for Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott to take this game over, and they're going to do it. As Ryan already pointed out, the defense for the Cowboys is the only part of any part of this game that has been playing well. I'm confused now because you guys keep messaging and laughing. Now I'm so confused.
I'm not messaging nobody. I'm just reading the comments and laughing out loud.
Listen, the Giants have outplayed what anybody predicted, and good for them. Seriously, good for them. But they're just not good enough to win this game, in my opinion. Tim, you're on your own little solo island again.
Before we jump off this game, I know we've been on here a little bit. Did you guys see that crap Jerry Jones said earlier?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I did not. What did he say?
He said Cooper Rush has a chance to take Dak Prescott's job if he plays well. And then he said Tony Romo-esque or some crap like that.
Terrible.
That old man is senile.
Hear me out though. It has not been uncommon in Dallas for the backup quarterback to come in, play well, and take the job. Tony Romo did it to Drew Bledsoe, and as you've already pointed out, Dak Prescott did it to Tony Romo. Now, obviously, both of those quarterbacks were on the end of their career. Dak Prescott is not. I do believe Cooper Rush is a better quarterback. I do believe Dak Prescott is a good quarterback, even though I don't care for the Cowboys. But I don't think Cooper Rush is that guy. I just don't. So until he shows me that he is that guy, congratulations, you beat the Vikings in primetime, a team that is known to choke in primetime last year, and then you beat a really suspect Bengals team this year, even though they're supposed to be the favorites. Like, congratulations to Cooper Rush. And I know I'm like talking down the Cowboys right now because I'm an Eagles fan, but they're going to go into the Meadowlands and beat the Giants on Monday night. And that's what I've got to say about that.
And you know what we're going to wake up to Tuesday? The Eagles being alone at the top of the division. But
I don't think so, boys.
Yeah. I mean, well, to be fair, even if all the Eagles have to do is win and they'll be alone at the top of the division. But I think that this is a weird comment because Dak Prescott's in the middle of a very large contract extension.
For real.
So it's kind of an odd time to say that now.
Also, what does that make Dak Prescott feel? Like, oh, my job isn't as secure as you seem to have made it last year when you signed me to this huge deal? Like, come on, man.
I mean, to be fair, signing him to that huge deal after he had that compound fracture was kind of weird, but that's kind of
we
what
said that at the time. Yeah, Ryan, you and I said that at the time.
Really, really weird, bro. But that's just me.
We got anything else we want to touch on?
No, I'm okay. Thanks for a great episode Wednesday. And then obviously we'll be back Tuesday.
Yeah. Also, for those of you in the Florida area that may be listening or will be listening on Spotify later, Three Odd Guys, September 29th. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna stay on after we say our goodbyes. We're not gonna do an end broadcast thing. We're gonna leave the QR code up. That's behind us right now. I know you can't see it. I'll take us off the screen so you can see it. All right. I know this is a football episode, but he's been begging for us to talk about it. So let's do it real quick. We got time, right? You guys are good?
Yeah. I just got a piece. So go ahead and start.
Okay. So Ken Brandt wants to talk about the Phillies a little bit. And one of the points that I know he wants to bring up, and I feel like we can easily talk about it, is the Phillies were 1-7 when Rhys Hoskins was out of the lineup. They're 2-0 since he come back. Is he really that much of an impact, or do you think pitchers are just pitching more around the lineup because he's in it? Listen, you can't deny that he's a power threat because he is. However, he's a 242 hitter. He does see a lot of pitches. What do you think, Tim?
Listen, sorry. He had a little bit of impact, but it's not a huge one, in my opinion.
In a lineup like this, while we're also lacking Castellanos at the point in time, do you think he's more of an impact than he would be in someone else's lineup?
Absolutely. They can't avoid him, then go to avoid Bryce Harper, go to avoid JT Realmuto. They can't avoid everyone. You know what I'm saying? They can't avoid Nick Castellanos. They have to throw to someone.
Correct. And I think that he does have a significant impact because of that. You've got guys who can hit the ball over the fence, 1 through 6 in this lineup, or 1 through 5 if you exclude Alec Boehm because he doesn't have power numbers. However, he's hitting 300. It's like, to your point, Tim, you're gonna have to throw to somebody, and it's only better when Hoskins is in the lineup because it's another person that you're either throwing around or throwing to, and he has made the best when they're throwing to him.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan,
what was the topic?
Impact of Rhys Hoskins. 1-7 with him out of the lineup, 2-0 with him in the lineup.
Well, that speaks for itself, but I want to touch on a more pressing matter with the Phillies, and it's their pitching or lack thereof. They look terrible. I mean, Bailey Falter's been their starter since he re-entered the rotation for Zach Wheeler when he got hurt. at this point, he's your clear-cut number 3. He's definitely outpitched Ranger Suarez, despite that one fantastic start that Ranger had last night. The Phillies pitching is a complete 180 from what they were for most of the season. They've put this team in trouble. And they should be very fortunate that the Milwaukee Brewers have not gained any ground. I think they started the month 2 games back, maybe 3. They're at 2.5 right now, so they should be thankful that the Milwaukee Brewers aren't playing fantastic baseball. I am worried for the Phillies when they make the playoffs. I say when because I do believe that they will make the playoffs. However,
all right, so let me ask you this. Do you go ahead.
Well, I ain't done. Hey,
I didn't know how long that was going to last.
He's fine. But yeah, I'm concerned for when the Phillies make the playoffs. I would have given them a fighting chance against the Dodgers 2 or 3 months ago. I don't think any of that happens now.
Yeah, so I agree with what Ryan said. Do you think, and this is a good question to ask, that because of how good they looked middle of the season, that maybe we overused them, and now this is the result of it, a September where they're collapsing?
I said that 3 months ago.
Yeah. I absolutely think that they made a right move by getting another starting pitcher, Noah Syndergaard. He pitched good until September, right? But the bullpen, the arms got tired. There's no other way to explain it. Having bullpen games every 5th day is going to kill you. So.
And they did it for like 6 weeks in a row. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? I get that there's so much focus on saving the starters' arms that this is what happens. Like, your bullpen takes a hit for it. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, they have Syndergaard, who's still stretched out as a starter. In all honesty, for the month of September, I probably would have run six starting man rotations out there, given everybody the necessary rest. It would have broken up your bullpen a little bit differently. It would have saved your starting pitching a little bit differently. Eflin can probably give you 2 to maybe 3 innings out of the bullpen at this point. But they way overused their bullpen. They way overused their big guys in different situations early on. And credit to Rob Thompson. They look good for most of the season, so I'm going to believe that's more of the talent level that they are. But they just look exhausted at this point. And I said this 3 months ago when they were on 6 weeks of 4-man rotations with a 5th-man bullpen game. It just wasn't going to sustain for the whole season.
All right, so let me ask you guys this. We all agree that they are still probably a playoff team more because of how the Brewers are playing than they are. Rob Thompson, is he the manager next year?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe that the turnaround he had at the very beginning, listen, if Joe Girardi goes 4 games better, this isn't even a conversation, right? Like if Joe Girardi has 4 more wins than he did and still gets fired at the same point and the Phillies play exactly the same way, this isn't even a conversation. We're the second wild card and we're rolling in like that.
It's not a conversation now. If they make the playoffs, you're not going to make the playoffs for the first time in 11 years and then fire the manager that took you there. That's not going to happen.
Exactly.
That's a good point. All right, that's all the Phillies conversation we're going to have. We can have another Phillies talk before they make the playoffs. I'm totally cool with that.
Yep.
But like I said, for our outro, we're not going to play music or anything. We're just going to show you the QR code. Please scan it if you have the opportunity. For those of you listening, okay, well, you can. All right, no, I'll play the pauper. That's fine. I'll put the pauper on. That's fine.
I was going to say put the rock music on since we skipped the intro.
No, we'll just do the Orphan Rivers, who's given us free music, and we should use it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to use that for the outro part, and then after that, we can pull up the QR code. Unless you're just going to pull up the QR code and not do the outro video.
Yeah, I was just going to – do you want – I mean –
fire away. Do the QR code. QR code on it.
All right, listen, thanks, everybody, for joining us here at BSing Sports, where we do a little BS, and we talk a whole lot of sports. You guys have a great and wonderful evening and enjoy your Friday and your weekend. And when we come back on Tuesday, I will look forward to, and Ryan will look forward to telling Timmy why he's wrong on his picks. All right, let's have a good week.
Hold on, did we pick every team the same?
You and I? Yes.
4, yeah. I think. But those 4 teams.
Oh, no, wait, no. I picked the Broncos. That's the only game we have different.
Did you pick the Rams or the Cardinals?
Rams.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Again, thanks for joining us here on BSing Sports, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports.
Another night where I try to flee these pain-filled eyes. A red man stands by my side.